it became frightening. Yes, because you take back the sickest of the sick patients. That's what a triage process is. And so we would fill up our rooms full of sick patients, but then we would have new sick patients who would come into the lobby. And COVID is really interesting because these people generally with the lower respiratory tract infections, so specifically the COVID that predated Delta, and then you have Delta, those two both focused on this a lot, develop lower respiratory infections, people would just slowly decline with their oxygen levels. They would be unaware of how low they actually were. So you'd have patients really that would sit in our waiting room and they would look discolored. They would seem short of breath, but you wouldn't actually know what their oxygen level was unless you went up there and put on a probe. When you put on a probe, sometimes their oxygen levels would read as low as like 35%, 40%. It's incompatible with life. We have no idea how these people are even living. It doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
So what's normally low? Just so the audience knows.
A normal oxygen level at this altitude is 90% or above.
Okay.
And so most people will be living around 95, 96%.
What's like the lowest level you saw prior to COVID?
So like I've seen low levels prior to COVID. Like I've been in on like cardiac arrests before and other things where you do see the oxygen level go really low. But like a low level that would alert you would be anything really below like 89%.
Whoa.
And so to suddenly say, hey, these are patients who are just like coming in and they do seem short of breath. They seem discolored. And then they just sit down in a chair in your lobby. You don't realize that they could actually be really close to dying.
And they're at like, you said like 35?
Yeah, they're just hanging out.
And they're just like, they're hanging out, but they can't even talk. They could like give you one word responses. They could, that they're sick. They're breathing quickly.
Wow.
They're discolored. Mentally they're in a fog. And then you just like bring them back to a room and then it's like, okay, we got another ICU admission. We have another ICU admission.
Wow.
And pretty soon your ICUs are saying, we have no more space. And that's when the ER gets backed up.